Toughest opponent mentally by far, myself. The toughest opponent physically, Nadal. I was like, I cannot miss a ball. No chance anybody beats me here.
In his latest interview, Novak Djokovic opened up about his toughest opponents, the biggest wins and losses, and the hardest times in his career. Novak admitted the rivalry with Nadal pushed him to his physical limits, while Federer tested him mentally with his elegance and precision. Those battles, Novak says, are the reason he became the player he is today.
Winning a gold medal for my country in Olympics in Paris 2024 would be the best moment. Even better, and it surpasses me winning Wimbledon for the first time or winning Davis Cup with my country and stuff.
Wow.
I mean, I've been incredibly fortunate to experience some of the greatest achievements in our sport, but that one just because I was 37 at the time, 37 years old, and maybe my last shot at the real shot at the gold medal and everything, how it happened and how it unfolded. It's just, that's the moment. And the worst would be, I would say actually also Olympics. I lost in first round in a tight 2-setter and 2 tie breaks. And it was super emotional because Olympics, playing for my country, being supported by the whole stadium, being probably at the peak of my career overall, being on a run and on the roll, winning 4 slams. I held all 4 slams at that point. I was just the most dominant I've ever was in my career. I was like, I cannot miss a ball. Like, this is my time. There's no chance anybody beats me here. And then one best moment and the worst moment happened in Olympic Games.
Wow.
Because Olympic Games happen every 4 years. They're so rare. And all the other tournaments, you have a chance every year to win. But here, every 4 years. So you got to be at your top to be able to, get a medal. Toughest opponent mentally by far, myself.
That's a good answer.
By far. And the toughest opponent physically, Nadal. Yeah, for sure. I mean, the battles with him were just grueling. The longest Grand Slam finals in history, in the finals of 2012 Australian Open, 5 hours and 53 minutes, I think it was. So almost 6 hours of grueling battle. I won that match in the 5th set, 7-5 or 7-6. It was just, I remember the closing ceremony after that. We were standing and listening to the sponsors' speeches. And at one point, we both simultaneously bent down and held our knees. And I could see his legs are shaking, my legs are shaking. And then someone saw that and brought us 2 chairs and brought us water, and we had to sit down and sit for the rest of the ceremony because we were just, I went into the locker room, took out my shoes, and I had blood all over the socks, on both socks, and I didn't feel it. Obviously, in this adrenaline rush on the court, you just go through the pain, you go through everything. But I had incredible matches against Nadal. Clay court matches. I mean, clay is the slowest surface and most physical in our sport, and playing him on clay in Roland Garros is probably the top challenge you can have in the history of our sport, because he was getting to every ball, and I was also very, very good defender and always very physically fit. So we would like push each other to the very limit physically and mentally. It was at times almost like an out of body experience for both of us, where we would just, everything would flow. We would play incredible points that would last so long, exchanges. And, when you finish a match, then you realize, oh my God, it's almost like you were not playing it. It was like something took over, and just all your talent, the skill, everything was on a scale or on a platform that we created. It's like almost like an artist when he goes on a canvas into his zone and just starts drawing some beautiful, that's how it felt, many times when I played him. And now when I talk about it and reflect, it gives me, a great sense of pride and satisfaction that I've had the rivalry that I had with him. And that, I feel like not only we both made history of the sport, but we both made each other better. And I feel like we brought so many incredible emotions to people who were watching us play.
Do you feel like in your career you've achieved everything you set out to as a tennis player?
Yes, and more than that. And at the same time, I still want to do more. I know that that comes in a big part from a good place, meaning from a place of purpose, inspiration, motivation, love for the sport, passion to make people happy when they watch me. If I'm doing that, and I have a feeling that I am, by still actively being on the tennis tour and having my active tennis career, I'm still spreading that light by playing tennis and inspiring younger generations. That's something that comes from a good place. But what comes from maybe let's say, not necessarily a bad place, but less of a good place, I have identified that as well, is my feeling of not being enough. And that goes back to my very, very beginning of my life and my relationship, particularly with my father, and not doing enough, not being good enough, et cetera, et cetera. So now that I'm talking about it, I kind of get emotional about it because it's still deep inside of me. And it's kind of the battle that I also go through often, because a lot of people, even closest people in my life, ask me, what more do you want? You have achieved everything. What do you want? Why do you keep going? And I tell them the good part that I told you, that I still really strongly feel it's inside of me. And I feel like as long as I have the capacity or ability to compete for the biggest titles in my sport, I want to keep going. And also, partly the part that I didn't mention that inspires me to keep going is to test my limits mentally and physically. Because when I was starting to break through into professional tennis, I remember when you reach your 30, you start counting your days to your retirement. Like after 30, that's it pretty much. Nowadays, it's different. Why? Because I think the care for the body has improved so much. I mean, now not only top 10 or 15 guys or girls on the tour have like multiple people in their squad to take care of them. You have top 50 people that are taking care of them. It's due to the improvement, of course, of the conditions for the players, and we earn more across the board. So it allows you to hire more people that would take care of your body. And I think that it's also a kind of a curiosity from my side. How far can I go? I'm 38 this year. How long can I push my own limits? And I don't feel like I do have limits. And I feel like the limits are normally constructs in our mind. I feel like it's reinventing yourself constantly. For me, I've had this kind of upbringing, had the great foundation, and I've achieved incredible things. I was dreaming of becoming number one in the world and becoming a Wimbledon champion. And that was my dream. I achieved that dream within 2 days. I won Wimbledon and at the same day became number one in the world in 2011, in front of my family, in front of President of Serbia who was there. I mean, it was with the welcoming of hundreds of thousands of people on the way back. It's just, once in a lifetime type of experience. But then I felt like I had to set new goals. Okay, what do I do next? I feel like I'm at peak of my powers, and I want to. So then I want to win multiple slams. Then I want to win all slams at once. Then I want to win gold medal for my country. Then I want to make history. I think goal-oriented mind, particularly in sports, but I also in business or anything really, I think is super important, because the clarity from my experience is something that is essential to have also peace of mind and to have a calm heart, that what you're doing and that you set your goals, your short-term goals, your long-term goals, and you know exactly the strategy that you need to implement to achieve them. And I'm, super blessed to be in the position that I am. But as I said, it's a constant journey and process.